Amazing morning, everyone. This is Premkumar. A couple of weeks ago, we had a very interesting conversation in one of our webinars, hosted by Zamir Cajee, our primary consultant, about the COVID-19 situation and how it has affected the e-commerce businesses. There was so much interesting content in there, and we had everything in there throughout the supply chain and the sales channel as well. What are the impacts on shipping? What are the impacts on manufacturing? What are the impacts on logistics? What are the impacts on selling on Amazon or any other marketing channels? And what is the impact on reaching the customers, etc.? It's end to end. All of the situations that had been there due to the COVID-19 has been explained in that webinar through a lot of speakers as well. So let's see what we have in that webinar, and let's go through each of the content one at a time. In the first section here, we have one person from the field in China, whether the manufacturing has been back into business fully, whether they have enough staff, whether they can fulfill your orders, whatnot. You may have worries about whether your money that you pay your manufacturer, maybe in thousands, maybe in 10,000s, whether it will get locked with them. From the field, we are going to hear from Williams. Williams is one of Zamir Cajee's supplier for quite a long time. So I think we can vouch on his opinions about the situations there in China on the manufacturing side. There was very interesting 10-minute content. Sorry about the sound quality because it was recorded online using a meeting webinar again. So bear with us, and I'll see you at the end of the video.
Hi, William. How are you doing?
Hi. Good. And you?
Okay. I'm very well, thank you. Okay, so thank you for agreeing to do this interview. Really appreciate it. I know everyone that's going to be listening is going to be interested to hear how things are going with you and how things are, specifically in Shenzhen. That's what you're in Shenzhen now?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
In Shenzhen.
In Shenzhen. And me and you obviously know each other very well. We've known each other for 8 years, been working together for 8 years. You run and control all of my supply chain in China. And I'm really keen to understand if you can explain to us how things are now. You're like 2 months in our future in terms of we're all locked down here at the moment. In terms of lockdown, are you locked down at the moment in Shenzhen?
No, we do not lock down now. We're free now. Can free travel, booking everything anywhere.
That's fantastic to hear. Oh, I'm very pleased to hear that. And in terms of the supply chain at the moment, so in terms of manufacturing, what is the state of manufacturing now? If I was looking for supply now, what would I find compared to pre-COVID-19? What are things like now?
You mean the manufacturing in China now?
Yeah, compared to before.
I must say they are more difficult than before.
Yeah.
But it's going to be better now compared with 2 months ago.
Okay. So how much of manufacturing has come back?
If I say totally the manufacturer, I think 80% come back already.
Fantastic. Okay, so 80% has actually managed to come back already.
Yeah,
of that 80% that's come back, are they all doing exactly the same as they were doing before COVID-19, or have things changed?
Should change something.
Okay, so in terms of those manufacturing, are they still manufacturing the same products or exactly the same products? Or I presume some of them have repurposed to do new things.
Let me explain this to you. I think it's different with the situation 2 months ago. In my mind, in my opinion, I think I should separate the manufacturer to 2 parts. Okay, they are focused on the domestic market in China, and another part they are doing the overseas market.
Right.
Okay, fine. For the third part, I think I don't need to separate it. I mean, for both.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so I think the 30% of the manufacturers should be they are doing the domestic market, and 70% they are doing overseas.
Okay, fine. And of that 70%, 80% of those have returned to it. And as that 80% have returned, are some of those now doing the new products like PPE and so forth like that?
Yeah, right. You're right.
So in terms of the overall supply, I guess, in terms of the products that are available, have we seen a reduction compared to pre-COVID-19 as to how many manufacturers there are that are able to produce products as before?
Sorry, I beg your pardon.
Sorry. So in terms of pre-COVID compared to now, I presume there's a proportion of those that the number of manufacturers actually manufacturing the same goods now is less than there were before.
Yes.
But I'm also presuming at the same time that demand has reduced as well.
Yeah, they are doing less than before. They cannot get the same capacity as before.
But in terms of actual demand, so what people are asking for, have orders been cancelled?
Yeah, sure. A lot of customers cancel the order with the factory. So yeah.
So actually, what we've got is a situation where manufacturers are looking for new customers.
Yeah, they are trying, but not easy.
It's not easy at all. But if you're in this country now, or anyone that's listening to you now, would you say it's a good time for them to go looking for a supplier?
Yes, sure. Of course, manufacturers, they are working with the customer now.
Right. Okay. Fine. So it would be a very good time for them to try and find a supplier in China now.
Right. They do not have enough orders now, so they must ask some workers stay at home or just depending on the production line. Yeah.
Okay. So that's quite interesting. Right. Okay. So that's quite interesting. So they're actually effectively furloughing workers whilst they don't have enough customers. So again, the supply is there to meet the demand. So if we can create the demand, if we can order the products, and they're there, they're ready to supply it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, that's really good to hear. In terms of where you see things moving now, how are things progressing? How quickly are things changing? Where you are and other parts of China.
What do you mean, the processing?
So are you able to travel freely at the moment? So for example, if you need to get samples and things like that, can you visit factories? Can you get samples?
It's easy now. You know, I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, we can travel freely.
Right. For the last 2 to 3 weeks, you've been able to travel freely.
Yeah. Another good news is tomorrow Wuhan will open. So all of China will freely now.
Oh, that's brilliant news. Okay, great. So I take it if you've been able to travel for the last 3 weeks, getting samples and things, that's something you can easily do now. You can get those sent through.
Yeah, sure. We can do.
And have you noticed any additional constraints on exports? So if we're trying to export now, have there been any additional delays, or is it very similar to before? Similar as before. Okay, so in a lot of respects, you can't say it's normal in terms of pre-COVID-19 because things have changed a lot. But actually, there is a good degree of normality that has returned, and things in the supply chain are looking much more positive as we look forward.
Yeah. It's
really a demand-based thing. So I think it's probably more the demand side that we probably need to focus on here and look at.
Yeah.
Look, I'm really pleased that you're continuing to be well and that everything seems to be going very positively there. As I say, you're very much 2 months in our future. So the fact that things are positive and working well for you, hopefully that bodes well for us as well, and we will see something similar.
Yeah, thank you. I have one thing.
Yeah.
Now all the supply chain, the logistic is a problem for export.
Okay, in respect of what way?
I mean, everything is fine. Only the logistic to export, they are very expensive and delay a lot.
Right, okay, fine. Well, I've actually, after the call with you, I'm going to be speaking to Riley and Tom from Westbound. So I'm sure they're going to tell us exactly how they're getting over that. I know in terms of cost in particular, that's something that hasn't increased.
Two things for logistic. The first one thing is the very expensive for the air freight, for the express.
Yeah.
Another thing is delay a lot, really delay a lot.
All right, okay, fine. Well, I'll definitely bring that up with them so we can hear what they say. Listen, thank you so much for your time. And I know it's late. I know we're doing this recorded because it is really late for you. So I really appreciate that. Hopefully everyone that's listened to this has been heartened and is positive from just to hear that things in China have improved so much and that things are returning to normal. So
thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah, I hope you liked it. As it went, as Williams told, the manufacturing has come back into business with enough staff in place as well. The only trouble that they have is logistics, and obviously the shipping cost will be high for now, or maybe it will be delayed more than what it was usually. But we have got that covered in the next section. Yeah. See you on the other side on the next section. Please keep online. Thank you.